Well, sometimes they come in the form of wake up. Well, wake up to what? Well, when you wake up, what happens? You become present. And for some of us to become present, it may mean to step out of living in some remembered past. Oh, it was so good when things were just how they were, and this was there and that. Or maybe for some people, waking up to the present means stop living in some imagined future. Oh, it will be so wonderful when this was then and present. And to start being alive right now with no more fight. Fall on your knees and listen to the voice of angels. And you know, I think sometimes we just don't want to hear it. Because the inner message of reality can be disturbing. Why? Because oftentimes we already know what it's going to say. And we don't want to hear it. We already suspect the message of reality, and we do not want to hear it. We already know what are the things that are wrapped up with our freedom and what we must release, and we're not going to go there. And then the result is, well, we have what happened then in the story of Jonah, you know. The divine voice says, "Get thee up and go to Nineveh." And he got up and he caught the first boat in the opposite direction. I mean, that's what it says right in the beginning of the book of Jonah. I'm not making that up. Right? Now, that's correct. You see, it's not that he didn't know. It's not that he didn't believe. It's not that he didn't hear. He does not want to do it. He was at odds with reality. Now, you know, if you're a Bible reader, it's reminding me that we recommend this book, The Hidden Power of the Bible, that deals with the metaphors and interpretation of the Bible in a metaphysical way. But if you're a Bible reader, you already recognize the role all throughout that angels play in people's lives. And if you're not a Bible reader, let me tell you, they're always popping up. They're always saying, wake up, eat up, get up, go here. Always speaking to people at various times, like when they're stuck, when they're lost, when they're troubled, when they're doubting, and particularly at the moments when their next step, they know what it is, but it's overwhelming. They don't want to go there. And this voice from within, let's say the voice of reality, is saying, do it. You know, for example, appropriate to the season, the story of Joseph. The angel came to him in his sleep and said, wake up and don't be afraid. Why? Well, he was about to do something really crazy, and he was probably doubting whether or not that was the thing. You know, his heart said, God, well, should I do this? Because, you know, here he is. I'm questioning the wisdom of being this loving, honest, faithful husband in a culture that is definitely not going to be okay with the idea of a virgin birth. You know, and then the voice is saying, wake up, here's what it is, don't be afraid. There's something in you that knows to do that. Because you know what? There were other choices he could have made. It was easier for him, and he could have walked away. He really could have. He could have made choices that would be easier for his life. You know, than to take on a partner who couldn't explain her condition. I mean, it's a metaphor to me. And it reminds me that not every time that divine mind or reality announces itself to me and in me do I immediately see it as bringing peace. You know, especially if I'm really attached to how things should look. Or if I'm really attached to how you should treat me. Or if I'm really attached to how you should respond to me. If I'm really attached to who should be around me. Or if I'm really attached to any, when, who, where, why, how, anything at all. Actually, That's just being at odds with life. That's just being at war with reality. That's just like the eternal now. Well, no, actually I'm living in an imagined future. Or what is? No, actually I want it to be different. Or one life? No, that's not my life. And then we get to wrestle with it. You know, like Jacob. All night he wrestled with the angel. Why all night? Because, they had to fight until there was no more fight left in him. Only acceptance. Fight with it. I want reality to be different. And I'm not saying things can't change. I'm not saying that. And I'm not just saying give up and let things just go the way they're going. But sometimes people worry. They say, well, if I get to peace with reality, if I come to a place of peace with the world, then I'll do nothing and everything will get worse. But that's not my experience. My experience is that people who come to peace make fantastic choices, are powerful people, are influential. But people who operate from anger and frustration, they make more of that. They create enemy images. I don't think things get worse when people find peace. I don't think any harm has ever come from finding your heart of love. No, I don't think so. I'm just saying, notice your state of mind. Is it confused or peaceful? Or I'm saying, just notice your mind. Are you in another time zone? Or here and now? Because here's where you are. And here's what's here for you. Bible readers know that story of Jacob wrestling all night. But, there are other stories of visiting messengers in the forms of angels. Like, Mary was visited by one at morn's first light, probably 4 a.m., real holy time where there's the possibility to speak, with an alarming message. Hey, honey, you're pregnant. I have to modernize it for the metaphor to work for me. Because I know that story. Imagine Mary. Excuse me? That is not how it is supposed to be. That is not how I imagined it. That is not in any of my affirmations. That is not in my spiritual mind. That is not on my treasure map. That is not even on the radar. There's supposed to be the dating, and then the romance, and then the wedding dress, and then this, and that, but not that. And that is exactly what it is. Fight with that. You know what I mean? There it is. And both of these people, Jacob and the angel wrestler and Mary, both of their lives were changed when they stood with what is. Maybe their lives